everyone, welcome back to Pawpaw's Workshop. Today I want to introduce to you this Dong Cheng impact driver. Now this actually is going to be replacing one of the impact drivers that I have that's not quite functioning the way it should. And I want to introduce this one to you and show you all of the features and benefits of this new impact driver in the shop. I just received this Dong Cheng impact driver. Now this is a cordless and brushless impact driver. It does come with 2 batteries, does come with a charger and some other accessories. Let's take a look inside the box. First thing, you're going to have a nice bag to be able to carry the impact driver in. And it does have the pockets on the outside, on both sides. But the most important part is, what does the impact driver look like? Well, let's go ahead and get the charger out first. Now the first thing looks like just a standard charger. Does not have the holes on the back to be able to mount it on a wall. You have to have this one setting on a desktop. You have the 2 20-volt batteries, and I like having the 2 batteries because if one goes dead, you've got another one and it doesn't stop you from continuing with your job. So that's the 20-volt max lithium-ion batteries, and that's a 2 amp-hour battery. And get the other one out of the bag. Now you do have some accessories, and it looks like 17 millimeter. Now you've got some US on here too. That's a 1/2 inch and a 7/16, and that's a 10, 13, and a 17. So that's the variety that you have. You also have the star bits, and that goes from a T10 up to the T30. Then you have some Phillip bits that are the 1, 2, and the 3 in size. And you also have these hex that goes from 2.5 all the way up to 1/4. And those are very handy to have. So that's the accessories that come into the box. And the unit itself, now I find the unit itself to be very small and compact. That is really nice. The battery will just slip on. Should have some instructions. Let me get underneath here. Here's the instructions. And you do have a clip that you can attach to this, so you can put it on your utility belt to make it where it's basically hands-free. And in looking at that, you have the screw hole right here on this side and on that side. So you can either set it up for left-handed or right-handed. Now you do have this warranty card, and on the back you can register your product at the dongcheng-tools.com. You get that so that the glare is not on it. We'll bring that up close into the camera so you can see that. Now the first thing that's striking to me is the size of this. It looks an awful lot smaller than what I'm typically used to. So I'm going to grab 2 of my other impact drivers and let's make a comparison. Now if we look at this one compared to this one, that is a tremendous difference. Now I said that the head of this was very small, and I showed you the comparison. On my Porter cable, it's almost 7 inches long. This one, from this tip to back, is 4.21 inches. That's one of the smallest sizes in the industry. I think the smallest size in the industry actually is about 3.86 of an inch. but this is remarkably small. And that is a huge advantage when you're working in tight places. That is a lot heavier also. Now this is the Porter cable, and this is also 20 volt as this is 20 volt. But this is definitely a lot heavier than this one. There is a side-by-side comparison, and you can see that this one is much smaller. And because this is permanently attached now, and I don't have the tool to get that ring out of there, so it's just permanently in. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to be able to get a new impact driver, and I'm very pleased with the fact that this is so much smaller and so much lighter weight. Now this is brushless, so I don't have to worry about brushes wearing out. And one other feature that I want to point out to you, if you look at this, this is tilted up just a little bit. It's actually tilted at about a 5-degree angle. Again, this is ideal for being able to work in small, tight places and still be able to be somewhat comfortable when you're working in those tight places. One of the big things that you have to consider is when you're working with a impact driver is how much torque does this produce? Well, this one will produce 1,840 pounds of torque, and that's pretty remarkable. Quite frankly, you can use the impact drive socket sets attached to this and probably remove tires without too much difficulty. Now the other thing is this will run at a maximum of 3,200 RPMs. And you notice it does have 3 lights on the front, whereas these others just have the 1 light, and on the Porter cable it just has the 1 light also, and it's never pointed in the right direction. Now I want to show you these 3 lights and how it works with this screw. When you turn it on, it definitely puts light on the subject. If you look at the Porter cable, you can see the light does not even shine on the screw itself. The center of the light is actually down here. On the Chemo, it's even worse. The center is way down here, and there is no light on the screw. If I screw that in, you can't even tell it's screwing in because the light is not even near the subject itself. So back to the Dong Cheng. You can see the light directly onto the subject and see exactly what you're working with. About 2 inches below where you're actually working. It looks like with the placement of these lights, it's going to be placed where it's going to be able to point directly toward your subject that you're drilling. Now one thing that I like, you do have these torque settings here. These are the speed conversions, and just by pressing this you can put this over into the low, and then there's a medium and a high mode, as well as the mode for screwing in the different screws. So that is a nice feature that you don't see on any of my other. Now on this particular impact driver you don't have any at all, and on this one you only have high and low, and that's it. So this gives you a choice on low, medium, high, and then the screws. So that's 4 different settings that you can use. Of course you do have the forward and reverse buttons there, and that's very similar to what you have on the other tools, which I think is pretty much standard. You can easily switch these, and I think that's pretty much universal. This switch does move very easily to be able to switch from forward and reverse. And the other thing that I like is when you start this, it actually starts slow and then it speeds up. And I think that's going to work great. If you're putting in screws, this allows you to set the screw, start off slow, and then it speeds up to screw in the screw. So a nice feature there that these other two do not have. Now this does have a limited 5-year warranty, and I think that's actually pretty remarkable to have a 5-year limited warranty. We'll get this up close in the camera so you can actually read that. But that's a very nice warranty to be able to have with your product. So I would suggest going to their website and registering the tool when you get it. You also have instructions for the charger itself, and you have the instructions for the tool. As far as installing the tool, you can do push it in, slip that, and it drops right in. So that's now attached. And to remove it, just pull this forward and it slips out. And I think that's pretty standard as well. And that locks in place. Now this trigger is variable speed. If you pull it just a little bit, you can go slow and control that speed, but it still will start very slow to begin with, and then speed up. And if you just want to have it this speed, you can. If you want to, you can increase the trigger at that point. The other thing I want to point out too is on the battery itself, you do have a charge indication right here. So I can push that little button and you can see I have all 4 of the little lights lit up, so it's fully charged. And this one the same way. Now I will say off camera, I did charge these. I charged these for roughly 45 minutes to get them fully charged. But on the Porter cable battery, no such indication. It just quits when it's not charged any longer. And on this one, again, there are no lights indicated at all to be able to show the status of the battery. So again, on the Dong Cheng, having this feature is a very nice plus. I like being able to have that to be able to check the status of the batteries. Now I said you had this little clip that comes in the package. You also have this clip, which is actually a tool holder to be able to hold 2 tools. Now on this tool, there is no tool holder available. Now I don't know, there probably, yeah, there was a clip there. And on this one, there's a magnetic clip right here. But if I want to be able to hang this on my right side, because I'm right-handed, I would put the tool clip on here. Is that magnetic? Yeah. So I'll set that on here. I'll put that right there, and we'll put that screw right down inside of there. And on the other side, we'll do the same thing. We'll put that on. Now I'm able to put in 2 tools there to be able to hold them. So if I'm working, I need to switch, I can do so easily just by grabbing the tools. So there they are. That will work out nice. And this clip will be able to go on this side, so I can just grab it, pull it out, and be able to use it. And the battery, of course, will still function just fine. I'm going to start off with a task. Very simple, 3-inch screws with 2 different impact drivers, and let's see what happens and how each of them perform. As expected, the Dong Cheng started out slow, as I had told you in the beginning, but it rapidly caught up and actually countersunk the screw about a 1/2 inch deep into the wood. Next up is the Chemo drill, and you can see a major difference there. The Chemo drill was much slower than the Dong Cheng. So again, very pleased with the Dong Cheng impact driver. Now, I typically use these in the shop, so I'm not sure that I'll keep this clip on there, but I just want to be able to show you how that clip attaches. This fence has definitely seen better days, but I do have some slats that are literally falling off and I need to be able to secure them. And I'm using an exterior 1 5/8 screw to be able to just put these slats back in temporarily. And of course, this Dong Cheng impact driver works extremely well. Now this entire fence needs to be replaced, but that's for another day. It is still way too hot at this time of the year to be out here trying to replace the whole fence. So to be able to put these few little slats back on will hold it temporarily until the weather gets much cooler. This Dong Cheng impact driver is a welcome addition to the shop. So thanks a lot for watching this video today. Now if you want to see some more reviews on different tools that I have done, take a look at this selection of videos right over there. It will show you a lot of the different tools that I have reviewed in the shop, and you might find some that you're going to need in your shop. So if you like this video, by all means, give me a thumbs up, hit that little subscribe button and the bell notification, and I'll see you in the next one. So bye-bye everyone. See you real soon.